the WNBA continues to get the kind of attention they shouldn't want. All right. Again, Colin Cowherd is making a point to talk about the WNBA again. He does it now multiple times a week, but only when it comes to one player, or in this case, one player and what it is the rest of the league is doing.
So now people are seriously talking about trading Caitlin Clark. Just as Indiana fans were starting to calm down, Colin Cowherd jumps in and adds fuel to the fire. He's known for his bold takes, and this one could start a huge debate in the basketball world. Is he being over the top? Definitely. But is he completely wrong? That's where it gets interesting.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting. In fact, she finished behind one of her own teammates in player voting. The pettiness has no bounds. For years, the WNBA players were pointing fingers. They were saying people are sexist, we're not being promoted, we're underappreciated, and then they get the golden goose and they don't like what it looks like. When the wave hits, ride it. They wanted to fly private. They wanted to be more popular. They wanted sold-out arenas. They got it. I wouldn't have guessed that Caitlin Clark would be this.
Here we go again, another example of the WNBA finding new ways to mess things up. Instead of building strong rosters or growing the fan base, they're now throwing out wild ideas like trading Caitlin Clark. Like she's just some Pokemon card. And they're calling it strategy? If they actually go through with it, it won't just upset Indiana, it could throw the whole league into total chaos.
This is clearly them cutting her down, because when you look at fan voting, obviously Clark is one, right? Because she has the most fans in the league. So that clearly biased. You go to the media voting.
She was 3.
She was 3. That actually makes sense.
I agree. She's not having the best of years this year. She's actually, her shooting is down.
Exactly.
There's been a number of situations that she's just not played her best ball. But she is still much, eons better than a lot of the other players that they voted in front of.
Let's state the obvious. Trading Caitlin Clark wouldn't just hurt the fever, it would damage the entire league's biggest moneymaker. This isn't just about losing a player. It's about losing the main storyline. Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's carrying a whole franchise, and honestly, half the WNBA into the spotlight by herself. Every ticket sold, every jersey bought, every headline, she's the reason behind it.
A university professor in finance looked up the value of Caitlin Clark for the WNBA. This is insane. So this year, last season in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was 26.5% of all economic activity as a rookie on the worst team in the league when she entered it. So now she has an 8-year, $128 million deal with Nike. So, she's going to eat. Merchandise in the league went up off a rookie from a Midwest-based school on the worst team in the league, 200.
Now imagine taking all that momentum and shipping it away like a package. That's the kind of move that makes fans throw remotes, cancel season tickets, and watch pickleball out of pure frustration. There's regular bad, and then there's next level, unforgettable stupidity.
But we've also got the coaching equivalent,
and this would be
of a
that
plot
plus
twist
extra.
I'm not going to ignore, nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balls. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did it.
But wait, it gets worse. It's not just about trading away your biggest star like the league has extra talent to spare. Now there's a coaching twist straight out of a soap opera. The same coach who stood by while Clark got poked in the eye like it was part of the show is now her new boss. Seriously? What's next? Hiring the trainer who wrapped her injured ankles to run conditioning? It's not subtle. This doesn't feel like a coaching decision. It feels like a setup. A planned move hidden behind lanyards and clipboards. The real message? Silence the star, push her out of the spotlight, and pretend it's all for the team. But we see through it. Everyone does. Clark didn't just get benched, she got politically sidelined. And the front office didn't just hire a coach, they hired the coach. The one known for shady decisions and quiet power plays. Let's be honest, Clark and this coach don't work together. That's being kind. Their chemistry is a disaster. The system doesn't support her, it pushes her out. This isn't just a mismatch. It's a slow, silent battle. And you can see it every time she's pulled from the game, while someone from the bench takes her minutes like it's a favor.
Clark had another, whatever you want to call it, confrontation in a WNBA game. Like, why is this happening? The Caitlin Clark phenomenon is one that I got wrong. I never really thought that Caitlin Clark would make the difference that she has in college basketball or in the WNBA. What other sports analogies are out there that are in any way similar to the impact that one individual has had on a larger sporting universe? Tiger was...
So why would the WNBA mess with things just when the world is finally watching? One word: control. Control the story. Control the star. Keep fans entertained, but not too involved. The league doesn't want a player with real power. That's risky. That's a problem they can't bench. So what do they do when they can't stop her rise? They bring in someone who can. They call it player development. But really, it's a quiet takedown. The only thing growing right now is frustration, and fans have the receipts. This coach wasn't just hired. She was placed. And if the whole situation feels shady, it's because it is. Don't let anyone tell you this is just part of some normal rebuild. It's not. Clark isn't going through growing pains, she's being punished, like a kid who dared to break the rules. Because let's be clear, this isn't just basketball anymore. It's personal. It's calculated. And it's political. And here's the craziest part: everyone's acting like the coach is just being cautious. But playing it safe would mean using your best scorer, not holding her back and hoping fans stay quiet.
She doesn't always get the consistent great star whistle. I think they're still kind of figuring out how to officiate her. Right? Like I've said this for years when I covered Shaq and went to Shaq got fouled more than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, it was insane. People bounced off Shaq. Jokic complains constantly, like, people are bouncing off me. She doesn't quite get as favorable a whistle as you think. So I think
neither does Steph too.
This isn't strategy, it's sabotage. Just dressed up with a whistle. Fans see it. Broadcasters see it. Even the popcorn guy in row 5 sees it. And the rest of the league, they'd love to see Caitlin Clark get traded like some sacrifice. Imagine the ticket sales if she went somewhere that actually valued her. Drop her in Vegas, and they'd build a statue by the weekend. Send her to New York, and she'd be on billboards in Times Square before she even suited up. But leave her in Indiana under this current setup? That's like storing fireworks in a freezer. Nothing's going to blow up, and everyone ends up let down. And yet somehow, there's still talk that trading her would help the team. Help who? The lottery chances? The backup point guard's ego? The merch team that can't even keep up with Clark jersey orders? Because here's the truth: without her, Indiana's not rebuilding. They're disappearing. Clark is the reason WNBA highlights are making it to national TV. She's why people who never watched a game suddenly know what a pick and roll is.
Know who Caitlin Clark is. She's the golden goose, laying those golden eggs for the WNBA to prosper. Well, a lot of times we notice that the WNBA is resisting this golden goose and resisting this bump and this force of nature, which is Caitlin Clark. So we're going to dive deep into that. What's behind that? Is jealousy, envy, pettiness, all the above, more than that? We're going to...
You protect it like it's the Ark of the Covenant. V8. If someone really wanted to kill Caitlin Clark's momentum, benching her would be a solid first move. Hiring a coach she clearly doesn't mesh with, that's the cherry on top of the sabotage cake. Just make it look professional, throw in some press conferences, toss around buzzwords like versatility and system fit, and keep things looking neat while the damage is done behind the scenes. Honestly, it's almost impressive how calculated it all feels. Like someone in a suit said, "Let's hire the one coach who could actually make Caitlin Clark look replaceable." Because that's the goal. Kill the hype, quiet the noise, and return to the old way of doing things. And if they lose a few games along the way, oh well. Collateral damage. Let's not pretend this is about rookie mistakes or needing more time. This is about power the league doesn't want in one player. Power the front office fears when it walks into press conferences and steals every headline. Power that threatens the system with every smart pass and logo. 3. The league had a choice. It could have embraced the momentum and let the magic unfold. Instead, it built a wall and hired someone to stand there pretending there's no wave coming. Trading Caitlin Clark wouldn't just be a mistake. It would be a clear message, a loud, flaming middle finger to progress, to fans, and to the league's future, and people wouldn't just stop watching. They'd walk away. Because watching greatness get mismanaged like a clearance sale, that's not entertainment. That's a tragedy.
It's the last part of it, the players vote, that I take some exception to. And I'm not a big Caitlin Clark fan. Like, I don't care either way. But they vote her 9. And why I find that absolutely hilarious is you can say she's 9 if you want, but you don't treat her like she's 9. Because when she was here in town, they were picking her up 3/4 court the entire game. And they had her double teamed the entire game. Now, is your shooting efficiency?
So go ahead, keep benching Caitlin Clark. Keep hiding behind vague coach talk and the same old lines about team development. But don't act surprised when fans stop showing up, ratings drop, and Clark walks out taking her entire fan base with her. And when that happens, don't blame the fans. Don't blame the media. Don't even blame Caitlin. Just look at the front office, the coach with a grudge, and the league that let it all unfold and say, congrats. You played yourself, and just when you think the league can't make it more obvious, they blast a giant spotlight on Clark with all the subtlety of a bulldozer in a glass shop. At this point, it's not even a conspiracy, it's choreography. The commissioner, the coach, and every suit in the building seem to be acting out the same script: how to humble a star player in 10 games or less. Poor Caitlin. She came to hoop, sign autographs, and bring pride back to Indiana. Instead, she's stuck in a league-backed sabotage mission disguised as culture building. You can almost hear dramatic music playing every time she's subbed out for someone who scores 2 points and leaves with a nosebleed. Her only crime being too good, too fast, and too popular. That's it. That's the offense. She dared to be loved across the country. And now the league